Good morning, Willowbrook. Justin Bedingfield here, and today we are in Acts chapter 16, and we see Paul starting his second missionary journey, his second road trip. And road trips should be on our mind right now because it is summertime, and we're traveling here and there across the country or down to the coast, or maybe even across the street just to get out of the house. And wherever you find yourself this summer, you may have to travel to get there. And we experience cool things along the way and different landmarks and different stops that make those trips unique. And so in Acts chapter 16, we see as Paul begins this missionary journey that, I can lay this journey down, this chapter down next to my life and be like, yes, I need to be doing that too. And the first thing we see is that they happen upon Timothy, and Timothy joins them. And this is a unique addition to their group because Timothy's mom was Jewish and his dad was not. And so he could speak to both aspects of life for the non-Jew and for the Jew, for the Greek. He could speak to those, and that's an important addition to their team as they start this journey. And so as we go through life in this spiritual journey we are to bring disciples along too. We should bring people along for the journey to do ministry with us, and we mentor them and help them as we live this life. So that's an important thing for us to do in our road trip of life as we venture out each and every day, have those people we can bring along with us. And then secondly, we see that Paul is very, he wants to know exactly where to go. And so you and I both want that same thing. We want to know where God has us each and every day, where we should go in life next week, next month, our careers, where should it take us? And so Paul, in this journey, he is forbidden to go to one place by the Spirit of Jesus, the Bible says. But he has a vision of a particular place to go called Macedonia. And he sees a vision of a man saying, come help us. And we have to be very tuned in to where God is leading us as we have our own journey in life and our own road trip. We got to know where we're going and not go to those places that God has not called us, but be open to where God is calling us. And so along the way, we see a new convert in the verses after that, Lydia, who that's what we should do. People should come to know Christ because of our witness and because of our being there and our constantly pointing to Him with our actions and our words. That should be us. We should live to see people converted, people become believers. And man, some people are gifted with evangelism, and that might be you. But if you don't feel like you have that gift, we are still called to live a life that is pointing people to Christ and praying for them to come to know Him too. And it is an awesome thing when we see it up close and personal, like we see it right here. So immediately after that, in this journey, something maybe unexpected happens. Maybe it is expected. Paul realized what would happen to him as he went and preached this message. They go and they happen upon a slave girl who has an evil spirit, and she's a slave. And the men who own her are making money by her being able to predict the future or talk about certain events that may happen in people's lives. And so they're making a lot of money off of this slave girl that they own. And so they happen upon her, and Paul happens to cast that spirit out of her, leaving those slave owners with no way of making any money. And so, as you would guess, they are furious about this. Paul and Silas end up in jail. And man, I hope you don't end up in jail this summer on a road trip. I really hope that doesn't happen to you. But sometimes we do find ourselves in places we did not expect. And so that's what happened here. And what's really cool as we close this out today, Paul and Silas are found singing hymns as they're in jail and in shackles, singing songs to God. And so when we find ourselves in unexpected places in this journey of life, we can still sing. And what happens next is unbelievable. An earthquake happens, and man, the doors fly open to the prisons. The shackles fall off, and they don't run, they wait. The jailer comes, and he's concerned that everybody's left and that he needs to kill himself because he does not want to face the punishment of losing track and letting all the prisoners escape. But Paul says, we're still here. We haven't gone anywhere. And the jailer says these amazing words, what do I have to do to be saved? Because he saw the way they responded. He saw just miraculous things. And it drove him to a question of, man, I want what these guys have. And so the way we respond in those situations and waiting for God, being patient and really tuned in to what he would have us to do. Even in those circumstances, Paul and Silas knew what they should do. They waited. The jailer did not kill himself. He came and said, what must I do to be saved? And here's the cool thing. He and his whole household got saved. His family got saved because of the ministry of Paul and Silas and this opportunity that they had maybe to run, but they stayed. And then right after that, another reason they stayed is so that they could make it public how they were illegally treated because due to the Roman citizenship. They stayed too because they didn't want to leave quietly the next day. They stayed as well just to make sure that the truth came out about how they were mistreated. Guys, this journey is crazy in this chapter. A lot happens. But in our journey of life, as we stop at all the landmarks and as we have unexpected things happen, we should know that we can always sing, we can always serve other people. And man, this jailer, I guarantee you, he is happy right now in heaven that they ended up in his jail and that he was able to respond to the gospel because of them and their love for him. And them wanting to serve God, he was a byproduct of all of that obedience, going to where they should go and serving the way that they should serve on this missionary journey that Paul and Silas are on. So, man, it's an encouragement this morning. I hope that hits you right in your heart that we need to have faith that he can use each and every day, each and everything that happens in our journey. To point others to him and his goodness and his love and into Jesus Christ. Have an amazing morning. On Monday, we will be in Acts chapter 17. See you then.